Hi, everybody. This is a recording for the what I cover today for those of you that didn't get a chance to watch before um, or didn't get a chance to attend the live session. So we have over the weeks now, and it's been about 7 or 8 weeks that we've had these sessions together where I talk a lot about how to keep well during really anything, but more specific to studying for the bar exam. We are 1 month out, and last time when we met, I kind of captured all the themes that tend to pop out during the weeks that we have met. And those themes are captured here. And one of the things that I wanted to do, since we are 1 month out and there's a lot of anxiety or a lot of feeling like it's now where you really are into the midst of having to do the hard work to get you through to the finish line, essentially. So the themes that have come out that we need to keep in mind and really try to implement during this period of time are captured here, and we reviewed it briefly last time. The mindset and attitude, it's very important for you to keep your mind as much as you can in a place where it's balanced and not too anxious, and having, it's okay to be worried a little bit, but it's not healthy to get to a point where you freeze up and can't perform. So keeping that positive mindset, a relaxed mindset, a calm mindset could help. And the right-hand column is to help you really keep an eye on things that or there are things that you can implement to try to maintain the themes, the wellness themes in the left-hand column. And I believe I posted a some information about this a couple weeks ago. So it's in a posting that captures what we talked about during that session. So look for that if you want to learn a little bit more about that. The second big theme is to stay focused and stay balanced. You don't want to, at this point, get burnt out. You don't want to get discouraged, and you don't want to be in a position where you are regressing. You want to continue to make progress. Remember that the key is to make progress, not to be perfect. Okay. And the probably for everything, in addition to our mindset, is our physical well-being. It goes hand in hand. And so make sure as much as you can sleep, eat, and get some sort of physical activity so you're not being stagnant, because sometimes that can really hinder your performance or put you in a place where you don't feel motivated to do anything. So keep that in mind. And then the last category is ask for help. It's really important. And we would talk a little bit about accountability today. A lot of times we don't feel like doing things, but if you need to be accountable, then one way to get you to do things is to find ways to force you to be accountable. And so the ideal is for you to be disciplined enough to force yourself to be accountable to yourself. But a lot of people are not able to do that. And so joining a group or having some sort of support group or joining a discussion board, joining that's the purpose of the discussion board that I've created, or the listserv. And so if you are interested in joining that, just make sure you let me know and I can add you to the list. Or talk to someone that you trust. Those are always good things, because you really always want to have a support group of sort. And if you can't find one, or if you don't feel like you can share with the people who are in your close circles, then reach out to others outside of your close circle. A lot of times that's why people hire personal coaches, life coaches, fitness coaches. It really can help you achieve your goal a little bit better, because you have that accountability, and they can be there to champion you when you don't feel so motivated. You tend to be more successful if you work with someone, because it forces you to have that accountability. So last time I put up a schedule of sort to help, because a lot of you asked, well, how am I supposed to study because I'm working, or I'm in a self-study program. I'm not getting any help from anybody. How do I study on my own and make sure that I'm getting the studying done? And so I created this schedule, and I use myself as a example that you can work off of, because you may not have any specific idea, but for those of you who are wanting to get a sense of how you can create your own schedule, because if you don't already have a schedule, then it's a good idea to put some type of a schedule in place, so that you can get through these 31 days, this last month, with your mind intact, essentially. And so what I wanted to talk to you about today is just, we generally, you've got to get up and you've got to do stuff, and then at night you got to do stuff and then go to bed. And so that's like morning routine and night routine. In the middle is where it's variable. And so that's the part where you need to have some sort of a plan to make sure you stay motivated, stay disciplined, and be accountable, because you're needing to be in the best mindset for you to reach your goal. And for those of you who are taking the bar exam, then it's reaching your goal to pass the exam. The best way to be able to reach your goal is to have a lot of times what you need to be doing in order for you to stay motivated and disciplined is to build a habit, or build some sort of a routine, so that you continue to make progress every day. And there's something called a 2190 rule. I believe it's a rule where the general understanding is it takes 21 days to build a habit, 66 days to ingrain that habit, and then 90 days for you to make that for that to be your lifestyle. So for some of the harder habits that I've worked on, I don't really consider that I have it perfectly in me until 9 months. And I know, okay, this is now, I mean, I can do that without thinking at all. And some of the morning routines and the night routines that I have, those I can like proudly call I've worked on it. And some other habits that I've worked on, it's been some of them for years. And once you have achieved something like that, then you know that you're never going back. It's just a part of your life. And so as much as you can, that's how you can set things in place so that you can get some of the quote unquote mundane things or things that you shouldn't have to need to think about, um, for you to focus on the important things. And so one of the first things that you should do for you to reach your goal, whatever it is to have some sort of a routine, a daily routine, or create habits, create good habits for you to set in place to help you get out of the way things that you don't need to think about because it's so automatic. And even if you don't have a list of morning routines or night routines, and if we, depending on how long this recording goes, we may get a chance for me to go through and just kind of talk about my morning routine and night routine for you guys to get an idea of how to put one in place. But yeah, definitely if you want that, just message me and let me know, and I can have a session about that as well. But even if you don't have a daily routine, at least make a daily list of things that you need to do in order to keep yourself sane. So, like making sure that the dishes don't get piled up or the laundry doesn't get piled up in the next 31 days, to have something set in place. Okay. And then in addition to what you need to be getting done every day, there are things that we need to get done that is not a daily task, but it should get done so that emergencies don't come up. Like, for example, if you really need to pay that bill, or you'll get calls or emergencies come up, or if you need to sign any forms for school or anything like that. There are things in your life that you really need to take care of on a specific day, or there are certain deadlines. Make sure you have a list of that so it doesn't become an emergency. And then with respect to the bar exam, you want to be planning your subjects to study for that day. And ideally, you would want to have a 31 days now of what you'll be doing each day with respect to what subject you focus on, and then how you will be studying that subject, whether that be reviewing your outline flashcards, tables, charts, anything that you prepare, your primary study materials, you review, do questions, write essays, do a PT, things like that. Make sure you plan it out somewhat. You don't have to be accounting for every half an hour or every minute, but have a plan of what you'll be studying on that day. Then the second thing to think about is that now that you have a plan, you really need to discipline yourself to stick to your plan, stick to your schedule. And that is probably the most difficult thing, is this number 2 item here. You want to make sure that you're taking daily action. It's okay to, especially now 31 days away, a month away, you need to make sure you're doing something every day. It's okay to rest, but do at least a little bit of something that is associated with the bar exam every day, even if that means on your rest day. If you created, let's say, an off day, you do have the luxury of fitting in a rest day. No, go and clean the desk where you're studying, clean off that desk, or like organize the notebook and just set out the materials for when you return after the break so that you can hit the ground running. Okay? Even if it's that, just every day, take daily action. So you're always having that touch with the bar exam so that you're not away from it too much. And a lot of times you need to just do it. Like Nike says, you need to just do it because you know that it's important for you to achieve your goals. And the just do it idea is you do it even if you don't feel like doing it, because you know that you have to do it. You're supposed to be doing this because that's what you have determined to for you to achieve your goal. So don't wait for motivation to hit you. The way to have motivation is to create motivation when it doesn't just automatically hit you. And most of the time, it's not going to hit you automatically all the time. So our brain and our bodies are designed to take the easy way out. And if it's got a choice, then it's going to pick the least hard thing to do. So if you're not getting motivation, the thing to do is just take that first step and get yourself into the mood, so to speak. And that is why that number one section is important to do, because don't wait to be motivated, or don't sit around thinking, well, what should I do? If you have a list already done, if you don't feel like doing anything, then the rule is just look at the list and pick one thing. It doesn't have to be anything in specific order and anything specific. Just pick one thing and start doing it. Because sometimes if you wait for motivation, it's you'll just put things off continuously. Number 3 is another trick that you can do, or another thing that you can do to help yourself to stay engaged and to take action, to actually be doing what you're supposed to be doing. And that is to remove temptations, uninstall your apps on your phone, canceling any streaming subscriptions temporarily. You can get it back and binge watch all you want when this bar exam is over, but really try to discipline yourself, and uninstalling your social media apps could help you keep you from being tempted to just open up the app. Remember that your brain doesn't like to do a lot of work. So a lot of times we are less on social media if you make it harder to get onto social media. So if you have to log in, you may not be going on it as much as if it's very convenient. And then the other thing is to study away from your couch or your bedroom, or study away from temptations that will pull you away from your study. And so ideally, you'll be sitting at a chair at a table to study so that you're not tempted to fall asleep. And so if that means that you need to go to the library or even go to a coffee shop, get some noise canceling headphones, those things can help you stay away from getting things that draw you away from your study. Another thing about social media as well is it's probably a good idea to not be on social media, especially closer to the time of the exam, especially if you are going through the process with other students who are also prepping for this exam, because sometimes they may be posting a panic post about how, oh my goodness, I'm not going to pass this exam, and it will be where it could affect how you view your study process. If they're saying, oh, I just finished studying completely, I'm going to ace this exam, it could put you in a place where you think, oh my goodness, I am nowhere ready. So sometimes being on social media tends to get people to compare themselves to others, which is um, one of the tips that the ABA gives in that session I gave about how to stay, um, maintain your mental well-being, how to get through this process while you're preparing for the bar exam. And that is to not compare yourself to others. Just keep your head down and focus on what you have set out to do, that you need to do to pass the exam. And so, especially the weekend before the exam, I would really encourage you guys to not be on social media. Don't read posts on Reddit. It can put you into a rabbit hole. Um, And that also, on a related matter, it's try as much as you can to avoid the news and the media. It's along that same line. Sometimes watching the news can cause people some anxiety and unpleasantness. So, as much as you can, try to really keep your mind from having to go to those places and having to bring yourself back from those places. There isn't anything happening in the current event that is going to matter if you are in a your own bubble, let's say, for the next month. If it really truly was an emergency where you need to be paying that close of an attention to it, I'm sure you will hear about it. We're not isolated. It's more the opposite now. You have to try to isolate yourself because you're always being bombarded with what's happening around you. So keep that in mind, and you're not isolated enough where you need to be keeping up with the news for the next 30 days. And if you feel like you need to, then go ahead and do it. But maybe the weekend before the exam would be the just don't watch the news at all and focus on the exam. And that could help you stay more balanced, more positive, more focused on reaching your goals. Okay. So hopefully this is helpful, um, and I think I have covered everything. So hopefully this is helpful, and thank you for watching.